A very good afternoon to everyone. Hope I'm audible.
Ma'am, you can share
Am
your
I audible,
presentation.
sir? Hello.
Yeah, you can share your presentation.
Yeah, one second. Sir, I'm not allowed to share the screen.
1 minute. Please try to share now, please.
Hope this is visible, sir.
Yes, it's visible in full screen, please.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope it's in full screen now. A very good afternoon to everyone. I'm Jyostna. For the next half an hour, I'll be talking about National Blockchain Framework. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to present our work in this fourth international conference on PKI 2023. So this will be the agenda. What is a blockchain? Hope everyone would be aware of a blockchain, but I would like to just give an one-liner intro about that, and then what are the possible blockchain application and implementations that happened in the government departments, followed by what is the strategy of MeitY for national blockchain, and what is the need for actually a national level framework for large scale adoption, and what we are currently doing in national blockchain framework. So if I'm talking about a blockchain, this is what we understand, which is a peer-to-peer network and enables multiple authoritative domains who do not trust each other, but they would like to cooperate, coordinate, and collaborate in a rational decision-making process, which is very important. And every node maintains a local copy of the database and they are identical. So what we understand is that there is no central point of failure, and every transaction, whatever we make on the blockchain network, is time stamped and it is immutable. And there is a transparency whenever we are talking about the transactions, so that everyone will be able to understand what is happening at the background, and they're literally efficient, which are programmable, smart contract enabled programs, and it is even tamper evident. So finally, with all these features, it will be trying to build trust among the users or the participants who are not trusting each other. So indirectly, it tries to build up the trust. So till date, there are many blockchain application deployments happened by the team who is working in national blockchain framework. Out of that, from Hyderabad, we are involved in property chain, wherein we call it as a PRMS, Property Registration Management System. And we have received a Scotch Award for that. And this is also at the very nascent stage, we started implementing this PRMS, Property Record Management System, at Telangana as one of the pilot program. But looking at its potential further, it was even introduced or made an entry into the ISO T by R 3242 use cases document. So this is now one among the 22 use cases that is provided by this working group ISO TR. And recently, we have even worked on a e-voting application in collaboration with ITNC department and SEC, State Election Commission of Telangana State, for which we have received a technology Sabha about 2022 in the category blockchain. Like Apart from CDAC, there are other CDAC centers working on domicile applications, which is deployed for the Jammu Kashmir people for giving us certificates, and document chain, property chain, and certificate chain, which is in live domains. They are being done by the NIC. So when we look at our experiences, whomsoever they're developing it uh, across CDACs or any other organizations, they are developing their own applications, and it is happening in silos. So Mighty has given a thought on that, and they have released a national blockchain strategy document in the year 2021 during December, with a vision to create trusted collaborative digital ecosystem. And apart from that, they want to even encourage research and development and innovation ideas with application development. What can be the value addition given by blockchain based applications, and the facilitate state of the art infrastructure and digital service delivery to citizens and businesses, so that we'll be in a way to make India a global leader in the area of a blockchain. After releasing the strategy document, there were suggestions from many public consultants from many departments, as well as feedback and inputs were incorporated again into the National Blockchain Framework, so National Blockchain Strategy document. Based on these inputs from the national strategy per se, um, we were looking on to where we are exactly there in the era of blockchain. So previously, like assess the value proposition of a blockchain, people did not dare to touch and implement blockchain applications. But currently, most of the applications, whatever we develop, we could identify the problem statement. We could even evaluate and then tell that whether blockchain will be giving any value addition to any of the applications or not. And they started developing pilots and prototypes, showing it to the government agencies and to the citizens. And like they're able to prove that yes, this is a good technology which can be introduced for good governance also. And in the future, probably the area of work should be to adopt to other domains across different infrastructures and cross domain applications. So this is where strong collaboration across all the stakeholders need to be included. With this plan, looking at the ecosystems, and we have thought about why there is a need for the national level framework for large scale adoption. First thing, as I said, most of the applications are being developed in-house or by different states, and they're maintaining it as a silos. So no one will be able to talk to other applications until and unless you know that there is some application for this domain tackling this problem. So, looking at that problem statement, the need was to have a geographically distributed national infrastructure so that everyone can start using that infrastructure and deploy those applications, which can run on multiple platforms also, like Ethereum, Hyperledger, collaborative projects like Fabric or Indie or Sawtooth, any other things. Uh, so when we are talking about multiple blockchain platforms to be enabled, then there should be a technology stack so that it will support onboarding of the applications very easily. We understand that whenever we talk about a blockchain application, it's very difficult to just set up the network across multiple VMs or across multiple servers and make that application live. So that was a major concern also. And it should be easily integratable with existing digital India services like namely e-sign, e-praman, which gives more value addition to the applications as such. And if we want to have a value addition to the existing applications also, probably we shouldn't deviate much from the existing workflow, which is fairly accepted by the people, but give a value addition of the blockchain by keeping intact the data and everything. So then if we have multiple applications, could be any of the data that is there on blockchain application one should be utilized by blockchain application two, then there should be a scope of interoperability, how they talk to each other. And and we understand that even in the public blockchains or in the private blockchains, the performance is a little low. Generally, we assume that we it's a known fact that blockchain on a Bitcoin platform, um, for every 10 minutes, one block is created. And if I'm talking about permissioned blockchain, um, for every finality will be reached immediately, but the throughput was a constraint over there. So we have to increase the performance to really meet the requirements of the applications that are available and live to the public. And in line with that, we have to even enhance the security for sensitive information, and it should be enabled with privacy. Why? Because whenever we are talking about a centralized application, the data is at only one location. That can be taken care. They might be having certain rules and regulations, like who can see what data, what can be accessed by whom. But if I'm talking about a blockchain, now it is a distributed databases, one of the distributed databases wherein cryptographically linked with each other actually. So you should be more careful about the data now. And the major challenge, though we will be able to provide all these things, the challenge is skilled manpower. Uh, so the person who is working in one of the development of an application, he shouldn't feel like adding blockchain will be an hurdle for his application, but it should be a easy going with him, such that he'll feel more confident now because it is backed by blockchain. With that idea in mind, this is the national blockchain framework that is proposed, wherein we have a geographically distributed blockchain nodes across India. And we do have multiple chains here, like a property chain, health chain, education, any other chains, whatever could be possible, and which are on the platforms. Could be one on Fabric, one on Sawtooth, and could be any other platforms. And whenever we do want to have an interoperability, we can have interoperable protocols which support cross-chain transactions. And it should be able to improve the transactions and improve the scalability consensus supporting systems. And above, over and above that, as I said, the skilled manpower requirement is there for this. So it should be able to provide some templates to us, because smart contract is treated as the heart of the complete blockchain, which has the business logic. Whatever is your workflow, if you want to put forth with all the checks intact, and it should not be tampered by anyone, your smart contract is the one who is capable of doing that. So someone has to excel writing those smart contracts, at least get an intro about how to write a smart contract, etc. That is where it is planned, or it is giving some smart contract templates and some libraries over here in this layer. And over and above that, like we do have some digital identities for each of the user in the blockchain. He's identified by public private key pairs. So for that, we require a CA. Generally, per platform, they offer their own CAs, which are self-signed or normal CAs. So we are looking forward to enhance that component so that it could be a pluggable CA across all platforms, wherein he can store the private keys and all those things in SSM and extended with an HSM. And protocols for quantum Byzantine agreement is also one of the plan in that 5-year plan. Over and above that, whenever we talk about a blockchain, basic thing that we take care is the asset. Everything in a blockchain revolves around the asset. What is an asset? It could be a tangible or an intangible asset, anything it can be. So ownership changes on that asset, but exactly not the asset changes. So you have to be careful about dealing with the assets over there. And once we have taken care of all these components, functionality now is ready. We could deploy the network and then have the smart contracts here, and they're ready for our integration with the existing applications or a new application, anything. So now we are supposed to host this and then offer it as an APIs to the other applications. And so for this also directly they cannot go into the production. They should have a staging environment, and before that they should have a development environment. And if the applications are in a requirement of any of the e-sign, e-praman, or a proof of existence or a proof of storage requirements, these will be the value-added services provided by the platform again. And on top of all these things can be the applications. It could be related to education, governance, supply chain, PDS, health, voting, any other thing. So this was the plan. And finally, it is in line with the plan, and we are able to roll out version 1 of the National Blockchain Framework with the Hyperledger Fabric and Hyperledger Sawtooth as two platforms with a CA, and taking care of the privacy at the smart contract level with the ZKP protocols. Uh, like when we are talking about distributed consensus, distributed infrastructure, smart contracts, uh, there is a plethora of code available across the stack. So someone has to verify that programming, whether we are going in a right direction and what extra rules will be applicable for the blockchain especially. So all that is taken care by the security vertical across multiple layers, along with the VAPT modules for each of the specific tasks actually. So coming to the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, all the blockchains are based on Docker, so containers based applications. So they have to understand the underlying Docker platform, and the rules are framed to have a better or a good Docker platform. Then moving on to the databases, whatever we are using, best practices for that, and uh, any threats across that, the scanning of that complete modules are taken care by the VAPT. And smart contracts, whatever we are developing here and defining here, or a user can also install, deploy his own smart contract on these chains. In that case, audit of that smart contract should also happen, security audit. So for that, this vulnerability assessment and penetration testing along with security vertical are working together for giving such rules and utilities to check whether everything is intact or not. So for developing the complete platform, National Blockchain Framework, multiple organizations with a different mindset altogether are working to achieve this goal. CDAC is at the implementation side, looking at blockchain as a service and design patterns for smart contract layer, and providing this vulnerability assessment and penetration testing suits and everything. NIC is the backbone, which is trying to provide the complete infrastructure across across the India. And SETS is working on this CA certifying authority, along with HSM and SSM support. IDRBT and IIT and IIIT are working on the research challenges for enhancing the usage of blockchain as per the application requirements. When I first thing that gets into mind is like, where is the infrastructure? How is it maintained? So this is on a hyper-converged infrastructure with the storage, compute, and network nodes. Over and above that, we have a virtualization layer and a lot of virtual machines for the workloads. And then comes the Docker, wherein this will be used by Fabric, Ethereum, or Sawtooth, any of the applications that are using. But for a production grade environment, we are relying on Kubernetes such that the container management becomes easy. And over all these things is the deployment architecture, wherein we are providing staging, development, and production environments. So this is a little about what are the configuration of each of the node at different places, and what NBF is focusing and what are the value additions. If you look around, we are providing a technology framework for faster and secure development of applications. As I said, if you're talking about a blockchain, it's very difficult to set up a network in a good amount of time, like 1 week or 10 days. Over that, we have to deploy the smart contracts and then integrate with the application. That's a long process altogether. So we are trying to give a rapid end-to-end prototyping and then followed by staging and production setups actually. We are offering basically blockchain as a service along with the infrastructure provisions. So the security ready components are independent security audit and BAPT across the whole stack as defined earlier. And the APIs are readily available to integrate with existing government services like eSign and ePraman. And for the proof of storage purpose, wherein we are trying to store any of the documents, as blockchain per se, generally blockchain is used to store the metadata, not exactly the complete documents, whatever we are generating it. But in case if you need some documents also have a value addition, then you're supposed to store the documents. But again, the same applies for the document storage also. There could be a single failure uh, things, a single point of failure. To avoid that, there we are taking care of that by having an interplanetary file system, which is again distributed and content addressable. It is not based on the file paths and all those things, but in fact, it is content addressable. So for onboarding applications, we are sensitizing government departments on BCT value additions and collaborating with government departments for use cases. This is going on as a part of framework one. We want to onboard minimum 5 to 6 applications so that the citizens can gain trust on the system. And addressing research challenges and contributing to the standards is also parallelly happening when we are developing this national blockchain framework. And infrastructure for prototyping and production, as I said, distributed across multiple data centers. And we can even look on extending this, whatever is the existing infrastructure, with the existing state data centers, so that now every state can be a part of the blockchain network and one node can be there at one state with such architectures. So consensus and blockchain interoperability gateways are also planned across the applications that are developed on blockchain framework, like with the blockchain network 1 and blockchain network 2. How do they interact with each other? So that things are also taken care as a part of this. So coming to the applications that we have developed or developing right now, one is for the UIDAI, wherein we are trying to build one consent framework for them, which is being explored, the usage of that for extending it to the other applications. Second one is we call it as Pramanik. Uh, so everyone is aware of mobile devices. They do have Android phones, and most of the apps are also there. But every other day, we'll be even keep on listening about the fake apps. We really don't know what is genuine and what is not genuine. Though there is a Google Play Store which talks about play, protect, and everything, but still the fake applications are there in the Play Store. They're weeding it out, taking their own time with the target of few applications in 1 month or something like that. But now what we planned is if I am a developer of a particular application, then you can onboard onto one of our platform called Pramanik, one of the application, wherein you can record your application details. And through one of the app that we have already available it in the Play Store called mKavach 2, through this, you'll be able to identifying whether any of the app, if I'm recording my app, say Bank One as an application, if Bank One is there, as in the other's phone, the user's phone, then it will be shown as source verified. So this will be helpful to make sure that my application is from a known source, and the onboarding onto Pramanik will also follow certain rules, like who can be onboarded, will be verifying their authenticity and then onboarding it. So it means whatever comes onto Pramanik will be an authenticated source only. So this is what is the little architecture plan about. So on the right-hand side, we have a national blockchain framework using which the base component of national blockchain framework will be spawning one chain called source verified mobile apps ledger. And we have a smart contract over that, which will be even exposing those APIs in two ways. One is for all the banks or app owners to record their applications onto the blockchain. Once they record it, if as a user, if I have mKavach 2 app on my mobile, then it will query the blockchain and check whether all the applications are source verified or not. So this is the exact flow of the application. And and the other applications, what we are currently doing is it with one for the National Police Academy, trying to completely onboard them onto the digital certificate system. And there are other applications from NIC and CDAC Mumbai also. So this is from my side on National Blockchain Framework. If you have any queries, or if you are interested to be a part of a Pramanik, or if you have an idea of a particular application, and if you want to evaluate whether it is really blockchain adoptable or not, then please get in contact with me. My email ID is mentioned there, gjyostna@cdac.in. Yeah. Thank you. If you have any queries, we will take it up for the next 5 minutes.